All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Yeah, the Phillies lost in extra innings today to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That one kind of hurt, but it is what it is. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Welcome, one and all, to today's... Oh, well, there's my guest right now. Let me make sure I can see and hear him. You can hear me, right, EO?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, wow. Okay. EO is sounding good. Okay. So, EO, just give me 1 second. I'm going to set this up. Man, EO is... Dude, your house is looking good, man. Let me...
Oh, it's just a dent, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Damn, I'll tell you what, man. I think you're probably the only white dude that could get away with throwing an all-white party. Because I don't know. Look, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the all-white parties and black people.
Yeah, it's just all white apparel. It's all white apparel.
Yeah.
It's just that's what it means. It means everybody has to wear white to the party. Have to wear white. Yeah.
And I've never seen, and maybe I'm just sheltered here, I've never seen an all-white party hosted by all-white people.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's usually black people.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would make some waves if some white dude threw like an all-black party. I wonder if that would.
Good,
Welcome, one and all. Joining me on today's emergency meeting is, of course, the keynote speaker of the third annual Conference of Masculine Excellence.
Damn.
Oh, no, that's all right. Of the third Conference of
I
Masculine
didn't know we were live.
No, it's all right. No, that's quite all right. He is the incomparable Coach Everett Overton, who has just now figured out that we are live on the air. But see, that right there, EO, that lets people know that you are consistent through and through. Whether the camera's on, whether the light is red or not, you are the same guy. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm doing real good. How are you settling into your new place in India? It looks like you're settling pretty well there.
Oh yeah, man. I like it. It's private. It's I got security. I got cameras all over, man. No, but it's cool, man. It's real private and it's peaceful.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, Illinois is a little. Well, no, you're in Indiana. That's a little calmer than Chicago.
Yep.
I could imagine. So let's go ahead and get to the elephant in the room, man. So early this morning, it was brought to my attention that the 21 convention has been canceled. It hasn't been postponed. It hasn't been rescheduled. It has been completely and totally canceled. Now, you from the outside looking in, EO, what are your initial thoughts on just the cancellation? Just given, and I don't know what you know about Anthony Johnson, but just give me the Reader's Digest version on what your initial thoughts are in this.
If I had to be honest, I think it's unfortunate. Speaking on our behalf, I know there's different feelings about the whole thing, but I'll say this for the men. I think the guy was around a long time, and I think he mismanaged his business. I think he kind of lost his mind over the last couple of years. When you're an event organizer, there's a lot of responsibilities, and one of them is relationship building.
Yes.
Not relationship tearing down, but relationship building. A couple of things that I saw in Anthony that I think this is where he missed the mark. Now, I attribute it to maybe his youth, but I think he's in his 30s, but maybe he's been around a long time. So, he's pretty seasoned. He's put a lot of events together. As a matter of fact, I spoke at one of them. You wouldn't know because he took the speech down, but I did speak at one of his events a couple years ago. But one thing I noticed about him that he doesn't... well, for one, I talked about the relationship building. I don't know, it appears like lately he was on a rampage of trying to expose people.
Yep.
The other thing I notice, he always keeps it at the same venue, to my knowledge. Whereas a guy like you, you're in Vegas, you're in Miami, you're switching up environments. I think it's important to understand that if you're going to cater to men, you want men to come down to an event, they're looking at it as a vacation, as well as informative. They want to go out and have a good time. They don't want to go to the same rinky-dink ass hotel. Same rinky-dink hotel, same venue, same stage. Everything's the same. So I think as an event coordinator, organizer, you got to have that in mind. Like, these people are going to come down. They want to see people speak, but at the same time, they want the nightlife. They may want to switch up the environment. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, his roster. Yep. His roster doesn't change much.
No, it does not.
It's Elliott Hulse every year. No offense to him, but people get tired of seeing Elliott Hulse. I'm sure. They want to see a different face, some fresh blood. I notice he pretty much sticks with the same roster, and if you refuse to evolve as an event coordinator, you're going to fall behind. Eventually, you're going to go out of business. And there was one other thing, if you don't mind, that was on. So it was location matters. Not having the same stale stage, same old ass hotel. And obviously the roster has to improve over time. There was one other thing that was really important that I was thinking about earlier.
I remember you mentioned relationship building. Did it have anything to do with that?
Well, relationship building is important. I think he's been a little immature. I think I've told you this in the past, that instead of trying to find ways to exploit you, ruin your reputation, I think if he should have seen you as a possible ally. I think that if the two of you, if he would have done this right, his business would have been huge right now. But instead, he looked at it as, competition, but there's always competition, but he looked at it as an unhealthy form of competition. I think there was jealousy. I think there was envy. I think if he just leveraged you at the right time and you guys were aligned on this thing would have been huge.
Yeah, man. I think, and I think you're right in that. Now, it would be very easy for me to come on here and take a victory lap and, talk all kinds of shit. Oh, don't get me wrong. We gonna do that tonight. Like, listen, man. A lot of guys are gonna get on me. Oh, you should be professional and you should. No, I'm not taking the high road with this. You know what? I'm going to kick this dude while he is down. But before I start that, and I've got bigger, better things to worry about anyway, because now I have to start my marketing campaign. My marketing campaign for the CME3 goes in full force in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to be on this smear Anthony Johnson tour. He's done enough of that himself. But from the outside looking in, I agree with you, Yale. I think it's unfortunate. And I think it's a travesty that, the 21 convention was the gold standard in terms of the Red Pill Summit. Like, it was the Red Pill Manosphere event. And I remember when I went back and I spoke in 2018, it was a fantastic experience. Yeah, it was at that same venue, but I had never been there before. I think I'd been to Orlando maybe a handful of times. When I went down there, I was treated with respect. The speakers were great. The attendees were great, et cetera, et cetera. Then after I spoke in 2018, I want to say that fall, that is when he decided to, the very next fall, rather. So I did the 21 convention in 18, then I think I did it in 19. What ended up happening, EO, is that he decided to make an enemy of Rollo Tomasi, one of the guys over my shoulder. And he went on this 2-year campaign. Just absolute, dude, he doxed him. He put out his real name, put out his wife's real name. Dude, he told people where his daughter went to school. Rollo's daughter had to transfer schools. EO, this is not normal. You understand what I mean? I think people need to understand that his behavior is not normal. There's nothing presidential about it. There's nothing professional about it. It is absolutely not normal. You don't tell people where his daughter goes to school. You don't do that. What's more is that he sent Rollo a fake letter. Now, I talked to my attorney before I came on here, and I can't talk about all of that stuff while I have you on for legal reasons. So I'll probably have to get into that a little bit later. But he sent Rollo some fake threatening letter telling him that he is in violation of some sort of statute or this or that or the other. Well, he did exactly the same thing to me after he ran this hit piece on March the 20th. The truth about Donovan Sharpe, and it's just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. First it was I was going to adopt Devin's niece. Then it was, well, Devin's niece is really Devin's daughter. And then he went back to it's like which is it? But going back to what you were talking about, I think it's a travesty that it's come to this, because he had a chance. He started this thing when he was 17, which is impressive in and of itself. At 17 years old, I didn't have that drive. I didn't have that know-how. It took me all the way up until my early to mid 40s to even figure out half of what he has figured out in terms of putting on events. He even told me before he decided to, throw me under the bus. He said, "Hey, if you would ever like to if you ever want to do an event of your own, yeah, I'll help you out, blah, 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 blah. That, of course, was a lie, because as soon as I announced that I was doing the CME, that's when he went into his little cave and decided to do his little hit piece thing. And here's the thing, man. It's just like I talk about with women in relationships. Whenever somebody gets the jump on you, when somebody acts in bad faith without your knowledge, because what he did to me was betrayal. I didn't see it coming. I didn't have any reason to believe that it was coming, even though he had done the same thing to Rollo. Surely he's not going to do the same thing to me. Well, he did the same thing to me, but he tried to do it worse, because I now had a competing CME. Here we are now, 2 years later, EO. Anthony has burned literally, just about every bridge he has. Not only does nobody want to speak with this guy, if you cross him, then he has the potential to try to turn your life upside down, putting out personal information about you, about your kids. Like, I think he exposed, what's his name, Ivan Throne a while back, because Ivan had the audacity to push back. That's not what leaders do, EO. Go ahead.
And I think that was his boy too, Ivan. And it wasn't his boy.
Yeah, that was his boy, man. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. I think he hasn't gotten over what his ex-wife did. I think this is where it's all stemming from. I think that's why he was, hating on, the relationship you have with Devin. I think he even hated on Bulldog Mindset, finding a woman. I think he's with someone now, from what I was able to see on his page today, because I went over there and kind of just took a look to see what was going on. But he looks like he's having a child. Congratulations to him. But
hey, congratulations
I think he was deeply affected by choosing that. I think she was a prostitute, if I'm not mistaken, or he said he didn't know, but obviously he did know. I mean, you can't have a woman that's a prostitute and not know she's not a prostitute. I mean, all the indications were there, but he overlooked it because he was probably getting some in-house pussy, and then dudes get whooped on that. And so he's not exempt. A lot of guys go through that shit. So I think a lot of the madness stemmed from just that bitterness from that relationship. As a matter of fact, I think he did a speech at his convention talking about narcissism. I mean, who does that? Who does a speech talking about his ex-wife and narcissistic behaviors and all that? I think I thought it was a bad look personally, but again, just an outsider looking in. His brand hasn't changed much. I think he tried to introduce women to it, and I also think that was a nail in the coffin. Yep. I think he was like in panic mode. He tried to introduce, hey, let's bring on this olive oil looking bitch. I don't know what her name is. That skinny brunette. Yeah, her, that olive oil looking bitch. And I think he tried to bring her in and a bunch of other women. And it was panic. It was a panic decision to try to do that, and I think it worked against him too.
Not only that, Everett, the reason and I agree with you 100%, the reason he started bringing in women is because he was running out of male speakers. Look, to me, this is common sense, Everett. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just missing something here. But you can't expect men to want to come and speak at your convention if every time you have a disagreement with one or more of them, and you go off on these smear campaigns, putting out all their personal information. You can't expect men to want to line up and sign up for that. Number one. Number two, on the other end, you can't expect. See what Anthony has become. Anthony is the king of the trolls. That's really what his brand has become. He just trolls people all day long. Anthony is the real life manifestation. He is the real life avatar of the haters on YouTube. Because I agree with you. I'd never even thought of this, EO. I never even thought for 1 second that it was his prostitute of an ex-wife that might still have an effect on him. You know what? That's my fault. Because I thought that he had the mental fortitude enough to get over it. I mean, after all, and you might...
Not if you don't get pussy. Not if you don't get pussy. He don't get pussy, man. You could look at him. I mean, you could tell he doesn't get pussy. And if he did, he was paying for it in one way or another. I don't think he was getting it off of his good looks and his charm. I mean, he wears Wrangler jeans from Walmart. I mean,
right.
A sweaty red cap. I mean, he's not really getting bitches, And no offense, get in where you fit in. If you got to use your brand and your money, to go on sites to try to lure women in, but if that's your avenue of attracting women, well, then you're going to get some hoes, some prostitutes, and obviously some gold diggers.
I'll tell you this. Let me ask you, because I want to run this by you, and I think I might have run this by you before, and I don't have any sort of scientific basis or anything. It's just based on my experience, things I've heard and things I've seen. If you as a man, if you are red pill aware, red pill adjacent, if you as a man are unplugged or awakened, just to stay away from the term, if you are awakened, then you can't trust men who aren't awakened. Now, Anthony, clearly red pill, but the 21 convention didn't start out as red pill. It started off, he had the right idea. He said, listen, man, there needs to be some sort of masculinity conference, decided to call it the 21 convention. Then he met up with Rollo Tomasi and said, oh, okay, this is where it's really at. And that's when the 21 convention essentially became the Manosphere meetup of the year. The problem is you can't put on these events unless you really are red pill. And the reason I say this, EO, is because if a man you're doing business with is not good with women, he can't be trusted in any situation. He will sell your ass up the river for a sniff of a piece of pussy. And if you think he'll sell you up the river for something as valueless as peace leave, then what else do you think he'll sell you up the river for? Possible a financial fallout, things of that nature. Steve the Dean Williams, and I know he's one of your guys, so I don't want to be disrespectful of Steve the Dean, but Steve's been married for like 25 years, which is great, but his woman runs the relationship. His woman is grossly overweight. And when you have a woman who is overweight, who runs your relationship, whom you have to ask permission to use her American Express card, then you're not really running that relationship. And as it happens, Steve was the one who ended up betraying me when he told Anthony all the false information about the things that we had talked about. And so every it happens all the time. And now here in this particular space, the only people that I have really been able to rely on are people who are good with women. I don't want to equate it to women, but that seems to be the only common denominator. Anthony Johnson burned me, terrible with women. He knocked up a groupie, and now he's got a bastard kid from an ain't shit baby mama. She's a cute kid, but a bastard nonetheless. Steve the Dean Williams, not good with women. He betrayed me. O'Shea Duke Jackson, he pays for prostitutes in Uganda. He turned on me. Who else turned on me? Obsidian turned on me. You know he's not good with women. Every person in this space who has betrayed me, the one common denominator is that they just do not have a handle on women. Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on that?
100% agree, man. Every guy that I've ever known that was jealous of me was poor with women. Couldn't, and that's why, even some of my friends that weren't that good with women, I spent most of my time trying to find them lays, trying to find somebody, that I could hook my boy up with, and that's also a reason why I went out solo most of the time as I entered my 30s. In my 20s, I rolled with my boys, but once I hit 30, I was solo a lot of the time because, I didn't even want that headache. But, if you're giving a whole speech about your ex-wife and sharing and airing your dirty laundry, you're an emotional man.
Yeah.
And you're an emotional man. And you got imprinted by that twat. And that's just the truth. I mean, she put them titties in his face, YouTube chill, and he went fucking crazy. As a matter of fact, I even think he gave her the 21 convention for a while for her to do the interviews and all that. Nothing wrong with that. But I think if I recall correctly, she was doing interviews for the 21 convention for a minute too. Hey, listen, there's two sides of that. One, you should put your woman to work. So I'm for that, but not in an effort to hopefully save the relationship.
Wow. And see, we can speculate that might have been the reason.
This is speculative, yes.
Right, but I don't really know of any other reason that I would do it. Do you? Unbelievable. I'm going to get to these super chats here in a second. JBlaze11 says, emotional men can't be trusted. I agree with you 100%. So, and I need your honest assessment here because this is going to be, I'm going to sort of put myself on the Coach EO barbecue grill. One thing that I am so envious of guys like you, guys like Myron, guys who are able to keep their not necessarily their calm or their cool, but guys who are just able to have that stoicism. I'm not a stoic guy at all. I happen to be very emotional, but fortunately for me, it hasn't hurt me, at least in this business that I know of. So what do you think of a guy like me who is definitely more emotional than I need to be? What do you think about guys trusting me? Because just like we said, emotional men can't be trusted. I'm emotional, so why are guys like me trusted? Why guys like Anthony are not?
Because even within those bouts with your, you being emotional, I think you're very passionate. I wouldn't call you emotional. I think you're passionate. I think you have your moments where, you get pissed the fuck off, but you're a man. I always like to say that's righteous anger. I don't think you just you tip tables over every single day, but I think if there is a righteous reason for you to be angry about something, I think it's justified personally. Right. So I think the way that you've gone about your animosity toward him was justified. Also, he has there's something he's just very monotone, and he almost has these qualities of a person that is very manipulative. An emotional person, you kind of see it because they wear it. You know what I mean? Versus somebody who is always trying to stay in frame. You got to be careful of someone who's always trying to stay in frame, because those are the most dangerous ones in my experience. That's true. Those are the nice guys. Those are the nice guys. They put on this front. They're trying to be nice. They try to be accommodating, but behind the scenes, that they're fucking devils and shit. So I'd rather kind of know what I'm getting with somebody and kind of encourage them. Hey, listen, let's calm that down a little bit. But at the same time, I do kind of appreciate your passion for things. Yeah. I'd rather deal with someone like you than someone where they're nice in your face, and then behind the scenes they're talking shit.
Yeah, it's interesting. That first 21 convention, man, there were several people who had approached me and said, "Hey, man, I'm getting bad vibes from this Anthony Johnson kid. Who is he? Where did he come from? And blah 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 blah." Here's the thing, and this is very interesting. I don't know where I figured this out, EO, but I think I've just discovered this about myself. I am red-pilled when it comes to women. I'm not red-pilled when it comes to men. That is, and I've admitted this before.
Likewise.
Yeah, right.
Likewise.
You know what I mean?
I don't treat men and women any different. Not to cut you off, but I don't treat women different. I don't heart their shit in the comment section.
Right.
I'm not going to respond to their comments, yet I'm going to neglect all the men. Fuck that. I treat everybody the same. I even treat the CEO and the plumber the same, or the CEO and the maintenance man, because without the maintenance man, your business looks like shit. He does the jobs I don't want to do. He does the jobs that are necessary, but he's going to do those jobs that I don't want to do. So sorry to cut you off, but I don't treat men and women any different, man.
Yeah, I think I wish I knew. I don't know. Like I said, I'm red-pilled as far as women are concerned, but one of my glaring weaknesses is judging the character of men, and I think it's because I'm the type of guy, and maybe this is something I got to work on. I always go into my dealings with other men in good faith. In other words, I'm assuming that what you see is what you get. We're going to do a collaboration. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, et cetera, et cetera. Never in my wildest dreams. When I was at the 21 convention, or when I met Anthony for the first time, that he would ever use my personal information to completely dox me. It never even occurred to me like that. And I'll never forget this. Here's how he got the information from me. I'm asking him, I'm like, "Hey, look, dude, I can buy this ticket and then you can just reimburse me." He's like, no, just send me your information and I'll have my guy book the ticket for you. Soon as I sent him my information, he said, "Nah, go ahead and book your ticket all on your own." I said, "Okay." I didn't think anything of it until, of course, March 20th of 2021 happened. He did this before I even met him the first time, EO, which means that he's like, "Okay, there's another guy I have in my hip pocket. If he crosses me, I'll dox him. I'll do et cetera. I'll do et cetera, et cetera." I'm not good at recognizing. I know, listen, I can spot a hoe from a mile away, even if most people can't. I'm unable to spot these male hoes, man. Help me out, EO. What are we supposed to do here?
Man, it's interesting. I really don't. When I've done my collaborations in the past, I never go into it with too high hopes. Even when he invited me, listen, let me say something positive about Anthony Johnson, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, of course.
I think there's a good side to Anthony. I think he's an intelligent man. I think he's a well-read man. I've had some decent conversations with him. I haven't had many conversations with him, but I've had some decent conversations with him. Yeah. But he turned. He turned. He didn't even look at it from my point of view. When I went to his, when he invited me to the 21 convention to speak, I want to say I had roughly around 6,000 subscribers at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I was still, I was still trying to get my name out there, and I still am.
See, that was smart on his part. He recognized, okay, this guy has talent. He's only got 6,000 subscribers. Maybe we can collaborate and I can benefit from that relationship later.
Where he fucked up, though, where he didn't see things from my vantage point, from a business standpoint, was when you found out about me. I did my speech, I was done, and I wouldn't say that my awareness or the awareness to who I was grew significantly from being on the show, but it grew some, and I was appreciative of that. And I will say he ran a really good show. Like, it was professional, good camera crew. I mean, I can't, like I said, move it around a little bit, brother. But but other than that, it was fly. It was dope. Together. Yeah, so I'm not here to lie about the man or nothing like that.
No way.
What I will say though is that when he found out that you invited me to the CME, I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I said, "Give me a call back. I've been invited to the CME. I want to talk to you about it." And I guess he assumed that I wasn't going to go or something. And I told him, hey, listen, I'm going to go. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to go. But I wanted to tell you personally before I announced it. I said, I wanted to tell you one-on-one before I actually announced it on my end. He went off. He said, he started cussing me out. He said, you ain't nothing but a motherfucker raised by a single mother. You don't have a father. Like, he went off. And I didn't say nothing to the dude because I said, damn, you're like a woman, man. This is a woman talking to me right now. This is a straight up woman talking to me. And I showed him respect. I was going to say, hey, look, I need the exposure. I want to add value to Donovan Sharpe. I'll still speak for you. I'm sorry that the two of you, or I'm sorry that you have an issue with Donovan or whatever the case may be, but this is an opportunity that I don't want to miss out on. And instead of looking at it like, hey, listen, go do your thing, man. I don't know if I can guarantee you a spot, being that you're going to go speak over there. But at the same time, he cussed me out. He told me, MF, this and that. You're raised by a single mother. And I didn't even say nothing to him. I just said, all right, bro, take care of yourself.
And that was that. Wow, and see, this is the thing. A lot of people who like to dox people or start beefs or whatever, they always claim to do it for righteous reasons, right? Anthony's reason for coming after me was, well, Donovan didn't deal with me in good faith. He poached my speakers. No. I asked speakers who had spoken at the 21 convention because I had networked and had built relationships with people that I had worked with and spoken with at the 21 convention. And so I asked them to speak at the CME. EO, this is networking. This isn't poaching. Yes. Anthony knows and understands this. So he's trying to have everyone believe that if you speak at one event, then you are hereby contractually obligated to speak at that event until the end of time, until said organizer says otherwise. We're grown-ass men over here, man. You can't just be talking to us like we're any old thing. And that's where the pathological personality sort of comes into play with Anthony. Did you really expect to curse out grown-ass men and talk to them the way you did and expect to be taken seriously? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I think the next day there was somebody in the Black Pill community who did a hit piece on me the very next day, which I know that he encouraged, or maybe even paid for it. And it's just, I've never met men like this in my entire life.
Me neither,
never,
man.
Never.
Me neither. This is why I know how to deal with hoes, EO. Is because, dude, I've dealt with hoes my whole life. I've never dealt with someone like Anthony. It's just incredible. Let me get to these super chats and then we'll continue here. You guys are watching. Hell, this is an emergency meeting. TSR live. Edward Cross with the $10 super chat says, "EO, that's my guy. Appreciate that very, very much." Ken Rose with $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Walton Rich Morgan, health coach Rich, $2 says, "I know Donovan is loving every bit of this. You're goddamn right, I am." James Wingate with the $2 super chat says, showing some support on a Sunday. Go 49ers. Miami J says, shout out to Frank Pine for being the first to call him out. Yes. Frank Pine, who I actually just was texting with a little while ago, he was the first guy that came and said, hey, Donovan, like, I don't really know about this Anthony John. Like, something tipped him off. I don't know what it was. I didn't even think anything of it until, years later. James Wingate, $5, says 21 convention canceled. Christmas came early for Donovan. I wish I could have seen Donovan's face this morning when he saw the news. This will be good. I didn't believe it when I first saw it. This is exactly why I had to continue to do like a bunch of research, but it is actually over. It is actually over. He has canceled it. And the reason he says he is canceling it, and this is going to be our next sort of topic, the reason he is canceling it apparently is because he has had a child. He had a baby girl. Shout out to the baby girl. She didn't ask to get born or anything like that. But that's his reason. Or that's his reason is I've got a baby girl coming, 21 convention canceled. I mean, do you think that's bullshit? Because neither you or I have kids. My good friend Ed Lattimore just had a kid, and he said, "Look, man, I've been The Walking Dead the past 3 months. There's no way I could have done it." What are your thoughts on that?
I think if he's leading the relationship, he's going to continue the convention. I think if the woman is leading the relationship, he's going to cancel.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. I'm trying to tell you, dude.
It's yeah. I mean, if you're leading the relationship, I mean, you kiss your kid. See you in a couple days. We'll FaceTime while I'm gone, but we got to continue the business. I'm the breadwinner. I'm leading. I'm leading the relationship. We got to continue. The show must go on. So. I don't think that is, again, congratulations to him. I hate to speculate because I really don't know his situation. But I just think based on the decline that I've noticed over the last couple of years, there's been no new heights. It's been a lot of negativity. Like I said, a lot of people falling off his roster, being exposed by him and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
I just think that, it's over for him. I think he needs to reinvent or enter a completely new arena.
It's done. Listen, man, I've known Anthony is done for a while. He's the only one who pretends not to know it. And when push came to shove, he had to do what he had to do. Let's call a spade, yo.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he, how can I put this? He could have done this, right? He lives in Orlando. That's where the 21 convention is. It is in Orlando.
Yeah.
So it's not like he has to go anywhere or travel. No, this is an excuse. Let's call it what it is, EO. The reason why Anthony Johnson has canceled the 21 convention is because ticket sales were poor. He didn't sell any goddamn tickets. Yeah. His virtual tickets were $500. Standard ticket was $2,500. A super VIP ticket was $4,000. Who on earth is going to pay $4,000 to come to an event where it's basically just a hater's ball? That's really what. Look again. Anthony is a troll, and the reason why he has such a huge following is because most people are trolls. But guess what? The proof's in the pudding, dude. He just canceled the 21 convention because ain't nobody going. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, even when I went, I was a little surprised to see there was only maybe like 12 people there. I mean, wow. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I brought about 4. I sold about 4 tickets. So I was 33% of the audience. But I want to say maybe I could be a little low, 12, 15. But I was a little bit like, yo, this is who I'm talking to today. Man. I get it. I don't know. I've never ran an event like that, so I don't want to pretend like I do know how difficult it can be to organize these things.
You don't want to.
Yeah, but there wasn't many people there, and that was, I think, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
That was after this.
So I can't imagine that it's gotten any better.
Not only that, and
it's the same people.
Every year.
No, listen, the same people on that stage. Who wants to go see the same people on that stage, man?
Nobody wants to see the same people on that stage.
Dudes over there, man. Some fresh faces, some new blood, man. The fuck?
Well, again, the problem is he's got the reputation. He's got the reputation. And look, man, this is the critical part of this business. You already mentioned it, man. Relationship building. You got to have good, solid relationships. This guy has gone so far. He has gone so far to try to undermine me. He actually has people go into chats and talk about my beefs with other content creators. Why did Donovan disinvite Ryan Stone to no, like me and Ryan are cool. I was texting with him earlier today. Why is Donovan and EO, why are they what? Like, what are you talking about? Then you see other comments, well, this is why Donovan's channel is stuck, is because he's burned his bridges with everybody. I haven't burned my bridges with anybody. Like, this is why every time I ask someone to speak, they always give me a resounding yes. What are your thoughts on his, how can I put this, on his relationship building? And if you were him, if you actually happen to be his friend, and he says, hey, look, EO, I want to restart this thing. What do you think I can do to maybe repair the damage, so to speak?
I think he needed to hire someone else to do the relationship building, because I think he's incapable of doing it. I think he could have been like, the mastermind of everything, but he needed to have a representative. I just don't think he has it in him to do that. Call it ego, call it, pride. I don't know what it is. I think it's bitterness that stems from that marriage that went downhill. But I think he was extremely jealous of you and Devin too. I mean, who creates all those memes and those and 4-hour videos and doing all that personal investigation if they're not jealous of you? I just don't understand. I mean, if I don't like a person, I never think of them.
Here's the thing, EO. Anthony wants to fuck Devin. You want to know why I know he wants to fuck her? Is because during the initial whatever, he was sending out all these letters with memes. He's like, Devin is pissed and wants to fuck me now. Let's stop right there. Let's say that Devin was this big, fat, ugly ogre that Anthony says she is, which she clearly is not and never was. And people know that now. Why in the world would you brag about the fact that a big, fat, ugly, stupid ogre wants to fuck you? Oh, I know, because you want to fuck her. Anthony is so transparent in everything he does, and this is what speaks to his immaturity. You remember what you and I used to do in 3rd or 4th grade when we had a crush on a girl? What did we do? We pulled her hair, we made fun of her, right? We took her, right? You understand what I'm saying? That's what Anthony's doing. He has a crush on Devin, so he's picking little fun at her.
Shit, he might have a crush on you. He might have a crush on you, fam. No, I mean, for a man to talk about another man that much, there's some jealousy, man. I mean, I think it does stem. I don't know if it's, I think the relationship that you have with Devin, it's very solid. You lead the relationship. Right. She works for you. She wasn't a prostitute. She wasn't a prostitute. She, and I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. I think he was so upset that his marriage didn't work out. And then when he sees other people in successful, thriving relationships, it drove him to madness, man. And I think this has all just been a portrayal of that failed marriage and relationship that he had. He might be over the hump now. He may be a little over the hump now.
Yeah, he's got a kid,
but listen, I don't want to speak for him, but I've known plenty of people who jump into relationships and get women pregnant. I'm not saying that's the case with him. I'm saying I've known people that look around them. They're like, look, everybody's getting married. Why am I sitting here alone? And they just go and find somebody to knock up. And I'm not saying that's his situation, because I don't know the man. Sure. But I do think there was this unbridled bitterness that he had that stemmed from that woman, who manipulated him and took him, whatever. I don't know if she took him to cleaners. I don't know what she did, but I know that she exposed him to some potential diseases. I know that. That's true. But I think, though, he looks at the relationship. Devin's behind the scenes. She's building modules and applications and websites, and she's working for you. And I think that he wanted that, and he didn't have it.
Here's the thing, EO. All of my haters want. See, this is the thing, man. We can all sit here. And actually, you and I are around the same age. I think you're a few years younger than I am. But at some point, and you and I we both had our player days. We've run through a bunch of hosts. At some point, every man, regardless of whether you went through the player phase or not, what we really want is we want a good, solid relationship with one woman. Now, some guys are just made differently. Some guys like to just run the Playboy lifestyle forever and ever and ever. But dude, guys, we're not everybody's Andrew Tate or Justin Waller or Myron Gaines. At some point, you're going to have to turn in your player card if that's not what you want to do. I have worked so hard. Literally,
I think most people, if you don't mind if I say something to that point,
no, you got it.
I think a lot of men have the ability to pull women, but they can't keep women. And so that's why they are always being a player, or they identify as players, because they have an inability to manage women long term.
Yes.
And so obviously you're able to manage a woman long term.
That's right.
And even me, S&O's been here 5 years.
Bruh,
she works for me. She works for me, and she might even be in the chat room now.
Yeah, she is.
And so and shout out to her and Devin. And so. I think part of that is a cope, that I'm a player and I turn out women. The truth is, most of the guys that are players that I've known are highly emotional and can't keep the interest of a woman.
Wow. Dude, you are foreshadowing, because that was going to be the topic next week, is short-term game versus long-term game, and why old school players don't really have the game, because girls have evolved. Wow. Okay. So so EO has completely destroyed next week's podcast, but we will try to resurrect it. That's all right, man. I'm going to pat myself on the back here. Devin is, and here's the thing, I am the only person in this space who routinely shows his work. I've got the woman who is attractive. I've got the woman who's fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful, presumably. Anyone who says Devin isn't fit or that she's not attractive they're being disingenuous. You guys have access to my YouTube. You guys have access to my Instagram. Devin, she's in unbelievable shape. She's got a hot fucking body. It cannot be denied anymore. Everyone knows what the hell she looks like, right? But anyone who wants to talk, well, she's not this, that again, that to me, that's just being jealous and disingenuous. Every man wants to be with that one woman. We don't want to be chasing bitches. Devin is fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful. She works for me. She's obviously an asset. She never gives me any trouble, like literally never. People see that she represents me well. Even in the crucible of debate, she holds her own. She's fit me. And so people see this. And at first they try to disqualify it, right? Everett, they say, well, there's no way this could be happening. Dude, Heather tells me all the time, people swear up and down. They swear up and down, Devin has to be running that relationship. And the reason why is because they can't imagine a world where a woman like Devin would be like that to a man like me. They think it's so impossible and out of the box. They're thinking to themselves, he has to be lying. There's got to be something he's doing. Why do you think Andrew Tate is going through what he's going through right now? And the people that have the most vitriol towards Andrew Tate are like guys like Abin Priest.
Can I answer that honestly? Why he's going through that?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's kind of stupid. I mean, you told on yourself, bro. I mean, look, I think he gave a course on how to do this shit. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but the man talks a little too much, and I think now he's paying for it. I mean, no offense. That's not to say that he hasn't ever, educated men. He never gave some, solid advice and, things for young men to maybe aspire to be. But, the things that I've seen with him, I'm like, he's either slow or just dumb. And this is just my opinion. This is my opinion of Andrew Tate. That's not to say that he's entirely that way, but he's kind of, when I first observed Andrew Tate, I thought he had a learning disability.
Wow. Really? Why is that?
I did. Just the way he talks, his speech, and I think he doesn't think before he talks. He's just going and going. I knew a guy like that actually in high school. He was like smart, but he was also slow at the same time. I don't know. It just is. I hate to talk bad about him, but I think he's in this position because of himself. Andrew Tate.
No, I agree. Now, you and I clearly we can agree to disagree, but I will say this about Andrew Tate. I think he now understands the lesson that Andrew will learn from this particular episode is you can't let low quality women into your life. You just can't do it, man. Like, remember one of the girls I think that had accused him, she tried to shoot her shot, and Andrew's like, yo, bitch, get the fuck out of here.
But you know what, Donovan, if you don't mind, I think that's he wants low quality women because like a high quality woman would not be interested in that program that he was running over there. So I think in order for him to run that program, he needed a bust down, insecure, low level woman.
And when you associate with these kinds of women over an extended period of time, something like this is going to happen. Now, I will say this. I believe that Andrew's innocent. There's no way that he doesn't have to sex traffic anybody. He doesn't have to rape anybody. However, like I said, you said he wanted low-quality women before. He does not want low-quality women now. Andrew's not perfect, man. He's not. He clearly sees, okay, Listen, I had this thing where I taught guys how to pimp hoes. Look, man, debauchery is debauchery, and being a degenerate is being a degenerate, but it's not against the law. Andrew was being a degenerate, and being a degenerate made him a shitload of money. Fortunately for him, being a degenerate as a man is not going to cost him as much, I guess, socially as it would for a woman. He's going to pay the price on the back end, even when he's exonerated. There is going to be a price to be paid. But I think what Andrew Tate has learned at this point is, okay, this webcam business, it was great and it made me a shitload of money and gave me all this clout, but now there's the back end. I don't know if you know this, but early on when he was at some point during his webcam business, one of the girls, I think he had like 70 or 75 girls. One of the girls said or did something. She got mad and she left. Well, she went to the authorities and told the cops all this crazy nonsense. Dude, they raided the house and all this other kind of stuff. They put him in jail. He spent like almost $500,000 on legal representation and again, it turned out that he was not guilty. But this is what comes with dealing with women like this. Any woman who is willing to have sex with you and I'm not saying this to bag on Andrew, but this is just how it is. Any woman who is willing to have sex with you, even though she knows you're having sex with all of these other women, any woman who is willing to sell her body on the internet just for a taste at the lifestyle, right into Bugatti, living at this compound, any woman who is debaucherous enough and low quality enough to do that, guess what? You can't then be surprised that she turns around and pulls the shit that she did. And it's the same with these other two bitches. The other two bitches that accused him, low quality women. So I will say this about Andrew. I don't think he's stupid. I don't think he's slow. I do think he made some mistakes. I don't think he's guilty. That doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't a degenerate. Being a degenerate is not against the law, but I can promise you this. I don't think Andrew is smart enough to understand I cannot associate with these women like this anymore. I'll give you the last word on this.
No, I mean, I didn't mean to, harp on this issue.
Oh, no, it's all good.
But from what I've gathered, pimping or bringing women in, to do, sex work for you, you're gonna have to find a very low quality woman with low self-worth in order for that to happen.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way it is. So, and it's going to require a lot of manipulation.
Yep.
I think real players and very intelligent men are discreet.
Yes.
And I think being that he was a loudmouth about it shows that he's not as intelligent as maybe the sheep of this world thinks he is. Very and good. That's not a harp on him. I think that he still, said some great, has educated and said some great things to the masses. And he wouldn't be as popular as he is if he didn't say anything worthwhile. But I think a man that is truly intelligent and a player and has his shit tight is discreet, and he don't lead people on to anything he's doing.
The interesting thing about one of the main differences between, you and I are the same person because no one has ever really seen us in the same room at the same time. I mean, for all we know, this could be a simulcast, right? But the main difference between me and you, during my player days, I used to brag. I used to brag to everybody. Yeah. I fucked this, but dude, I'd scroll through I fucked her. Oh, look at that photo. It's so much.
And I was the exact opposite. No one knew who I was fucking. And partly because I know the jealousy of beta male simps. If my boys find out who I'm fucking, they're going to try. Even if that's a 10-year friendship, that jealousy is real. That envy is real. If his dick is not getting wet, he's going to find a way to fuck up my program. And so that was one thing I just intuitively always knew. Don't tell anybody who you're fucking, who you're seeing, none of that. Don't even tell them how much money you have. Don't tell them how well you're doing. If somebody asks me, hey, man, nice ride. Yeah, man, it's hard to pay for.
Good job.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, you want it? I'm having a hard time paying for this shit, bro.
Right.
You want to take it off my hands? So you're better off to just be that way than to fucking talk about all the Bugattis that you have.
But see, I fell into that. Look, you're right. He's like, look, you might not have the intelligence that I do, but I drive 5 Bugattis and you don't. I kind of fell into that trap too. I recently put a sizable deposit down on a car that I am getting built. And at first I was talking about it for like 2 straight days, but everyone was shooting. I was like, God damn, y'all, I'm just trying to tell y'all. No, people don't, you don't talk about what you have or what you're going to get. Even my most ardent supporters are like, yeah, Donovan, hey, we're with you, but you might want to pull back on the brag and a little, hey, okay, all right, that makes perfect sense. Discovery trumps disclosure. Exactly. And that was a violation of my own rule. Okay. Last topic before we round Gregory Burke, member for 24 months, says happy birthday, Donovan. 2 years supporting you. Speaking of which, I'm sorry, Great Minds is what I wanted to get to. $10 super chat says, Donovan, I wouldn't be surprised if you have your own TV show with all you're doing for us men out here. Keep it going. Keep it up, OG. Yeah, I don't see that happening, but I would that would be very, very cool. Let me get your opinion on like the manosphere as a whole, because guys like I think you call yourself red pill adjacent. Is that you or is that somebody else?
I don't subscribe to that. No, I don't subscribe to. I mean, I understand the red pill. I think it's useful, but I don't identify as red pill. No.
Oh, okay, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the reason why so many people, I don't know what your personal beliefs are, but the reason why so many people like try to separate themselves from the term red pill, we have a bad reputation over here, man. Like it's every other week. It's a petty disagreement. It's just like the very first CME ad is every other week. It's a petty disagreement. This guy said this about this guy. Where do you think that the demise of the 21 convention is the beginning of the end of the manosphere, or does Anthony not matter as much as he thought he did?
I don't think Anthony matters that much. I mean, I'll just be honest with you.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, I don't hear anybody talking about Anthony Johnson or the 21 convention. That doesn't mean that no one does. I don't see it. And so I would like to see. I once said this, man, and I'm not going to say it's everybody, but I do think a lot of hurt men obviously come to the manosphere to learn, but I think a lot of hurt men come here to teach too.
Yeah.
And that's their way of kind of rehabilitating too, creating channels, talking shit about women. I always hear you say this, and I say this too. I have no problems with women. I understand women completely.
Yes.
They don't get my heart. Now, I'm a loving man, don't get me wrong, and out of the fullness of who I am, they will experience that fullness. But I'm not an idiot. And so, but a lot of these teachers, they come here and create channels and call themselves pills and all these other things. Yeah. But if you only knew, they're trauma victims, man. I mean, I hate to sound like a trauma victim, but somebody hurt them. They're over here finding like-minded individuals, and there's a few though that I think here are really great educators, and I think they're coming from a healthy place. And so those are the people you need to stick with. I believe, Donovan, you're one of them.
Well, I appreciate that very much, man. And I appreciate that definitely coming from you. He is Coach Everett Overton. He's got a new, I think, season 2 of LTR Leading the Relationship. He's got that coming up. As I said before, guys, he is the keynote speaker at the 3rd Annual Conference of Masculine Excellence. That will be October 13th through the 15th. Coach EO, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, man. To all the emotional men out there that'll probably get mad because I talked about their leader, Andrew Tate. Again, I've seen him say some dope ass shit. So let me say that before you guys act like girls. I've actually before you start white knighting. Yeah, right. I've seen him say some really dope shit. But on the flip side, he put himself into this predicament that he's in right now. It begins and ends with the man. And so if he's in this situation, he's got some responsibility there. And what you can learn from it is keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't do anything illegal either that's going to come back and get you. But who am I to tell you not to do that? You do what you got to do. I'm running a clean system here. So is Donovan. But, listen, if you're going to do something, if you're dealing with women, don't brag to your boys about it because they're going to hate on you. They're going to find a way to fuck up your shit. So you're better off to tell people you're doing bad than you're doing good. Trust me on that. I learned it, man. So
you want to take this off? Take the scar off my hands.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I bought this 30% interest, bro. You want it?
Yo, it's buy here, pay here. So if you miss a payment, man, they're coming to get it.
Yeah, they sold me on the payment. But anyway, Donovan, it's good to see you, man. It's a shame what happened to 21. It's a shame. I will say this. It's a shame. I think he ran it to the ground. I think he mismanaged it. I don't think he evolved well. And obviously, when it comes to personnel and relationship building, he gets an F. And so when that happens, your business is doomed. I'm Coach EO coming through, man. I got my season 5 of Killing the Simp series going on right now. So you may learn a thing or two.
Very good. EO, I will see you next week, my friend. Take care.
All right, brother.
All right. He is Coach Everett Overton. Dude, I love Coach EO, man. EO and I, man, we are peas in a pod. So now that we've got that squared away, just want to take you guys down a trip through memory lane, because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, okay, who is this Anthony Johnson character? Why are we talking about him? And so on and so forth. And listen. Most of you guys in here watching this, you care to some degree, but you don't care enough to go and do the back research. You guys have better shit to do than to do research on some petty little quote unquote manosphere beef. But when I come back, I'm going to show you guys why this is not just any quote unquote manosphere beef, and why what he has done has damaged both himself and the manosphere. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Understanding some award-winning books and courses. Get off to a fast start and jumpstart your masculine renaissance with the 49 Laws of Sharpe. The 49 Laws of Sharpe is the perfect quick start guide for any man new to this community looking for the answers that keep them up at night after a bad experience with a woman. So many men ask themselves, why did she cheat? How could I not see this coming? Why did I miss the signs? And how can I avoid this in the future? The 49 Laws of Sharpe will answer these questions and many more. This will give you a rock-solid foundation upon which to build, develop, and cultivate your newfound identity, and put you miles ahead of your competition. Most men have never had access to this valuable information, let alone understand and apply it. But the 49 Laws of Sharpe will give you an unfair advantage over men and women. This treasure trove of valuable knowledge is available in audio, video, ebook, and paperback. Next, supplement your newly acquired foundational knowledge, supercharge your dating life with Donovan's 25-hour course, How to Master the Game. How to Master the Game will teach you the ins and outs of the player life, overcoming approach anxiety, identifying women who you want to approach, text game, first date principles and logistics, avoiding the friend zone, and so much more will be covered extensively. Also included are the bonus podcasts that will cover how to dress, Tinder game, and much more. Put simply, How to Master the Game will turn you into a stone-cold assassin with the ladies. Available in video and audio format. If you're not the kind of guy who wants to live the bachelor life, or you've had your fill of the player life and are looking for something a little more fulfilling, How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up is a must. Donovan's 5-part, 7-hour audio course will show you step-by-step how to find, cultivate, and sustain a solid, healthy relationship. Everything from selecting the right woman, to coaching and correction, to what to do between the sheets. How to Build a Quality Woman from the Ground Up will guide you through the entire process of building the kind of woman you want and need. The strategies and techniques in this course are exactly what Donovan does in his own relationship to this day. And he is living proof that women can be beneficial to men provided they have the right instruction. And finally, the ultimate weapon all men are looking for in terms of being able to read and understand women, Donovan Sharpe's revolutionary, one-of-a-kind course that has been called the Cheat Code, Womanese. Womanese is the first and only course of its kind that gives men the raw and honest truth about what women really mean when they communicate verbally. Womanese translates female communication with shocking accuracy and has changed the dating lives and relationships of men the world over. So many men have avoided disaster because of the preciseness and sheer volume of material in this course, which contains over 600 translations. How cool would it be to be able to see through a woman's BS and act accordingly right then and there, rather than getting blindsided when it's too late? What would it be like to have the ability to read a woman like a book based only on what she says? These abilities will be at your disposal with Womanese. Women won't be able to lie to you, cheat on you, deceive you, or take advantage of you. The time and money you'll save pays for the course almost immediately. Womanese is available in video, audio, ebook, and paperback format, and can be purchased one volume at a time or all at once. Men in his community often state that the best investment a man can make is in himself. Donovan's extensive educational materials will take your life to the next level. And the only place you can get this life-changing knowledge is tsracademy.com. Link in description.
All right, guys, and for a limited time, the TSR birthday sale. The TSR birthday sale is going to be on 75% off all books and courses. 75% on my entire educational catalog. Pardon me. Sorry about that. There we go. 75% off of my entire catalog. So make sure you get over to tsracademy.com. Use promo code LEO. Promo code LEO. Again, that is promo code LEO to get 75% off. You can pay via Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. All right, so let's take a trip, just so you guys know, and just to get a little bit of a background, and then I'm going to explain extensively. About Anthony's quote-unquote demand letter. This is his move. He doxes you, puts out all your personal information, and then he sends a fake demand letter to try to, I don't know, somehow put a nail in your coffin. I don't know. Beats me. So, about a month ago, I said, look who's running a fake sale because his tickets are in the toilet. The, quote, luxury VIP ticket was $34.95, but he jacked it up to $4K to make people think, ooh, I can save $1,500, not knowing he padded the price by $500 before the discount. Then he changed the virtual ticket, which was my idea, to virtual live stream ticket for $500. $500 to see the same nonsense? I said the end is near for the fake president. He can pretend not to know that the 21 convention is a dumpster fire at this point and not sustainable, but we all know the truth, including him. And people have complained about the CME ticket prices. Haha, cute. There you go. There you go. So that was a prediction. I said, hey guys, the end is near for this guy. Here's something else that he did, and I'll go over this briefly. Briefly when I explain everything. Just so you guys know, because I want people to understand that this isn't just a plain, this is not Manosphere petty beef, right? A lot of people have characterized this quote-unquote rivalry as petty beef. No, there is nothing petty about what he's done. He says, so I had to put in here, I said, my apologies for the delayed release of my anticipated book, How to Train Your Woman. We have faced over 125,000 malicious attacks on our site this month, almost 75,000 since yesterday, and today we are working hard and as diligently as we can to resolve the issue and release the book. We should have everything fixed by tomorrow. Again, apologies for the delay, but I think we all know what's going on here. So yeah, Anthony knew that I was releasing How to Train Your Woman at 10 o'clock on a certain date. I forgot what it was. And when we, at 10 o'clock or near 10 o'clock, on the day that it was supposed to be released, the site was down. Brute force protection, 74,000 malicious attacks, 54,000 malicious attacks. So he really, really tried it on this one day. 74,000, he tried 54,000. Again, guys, look, do I know he did it? No, but then again, just based on people's actions, who would be motivated to do this? All right. Oh, here's another one. So he had someone put this on the Donovan Sharpe mobile app, the Sharpe Stream mobile app. Put this in a review. Donovan Sharpe is a racist. Donovan Sharpe, a.k.a. Eddie Hopkins, is racist against black women. So there he goes, putting out more of my personal information. Nazi misogynist. He has been arrested 8 times for fraud and targets black and Jewish people. I am disgusted by his content. Hi, Cynthia. He couldn't help himself. Yes, my legal name is Edwin Alexander Hopkins Jr. As a child, I went by Eddie. When I reached my 20s, I started going by Alex, and it's been Alex ever since. Devin's name is Cindy. Birth name is Cynthia. It is what it is. Yeah, Mr. Welfendorf. Yeah, he thought he was funny there. Devin says, yeah, he put all the bad keywords in there. Like this dude tried everything. And again, guys, I want you to, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. A lot of people say, this is just petty manosphere bullshit. No, this is real life. Like this ain't just people doing videos back and forth. Like there are employment opportunities. There are employment opportunities at stake here. Yes. And so this is so funny. This is funny. So I got a letter from one of the venues that I tried to sign on with the CME too. Good evening, Mr. Hopkins. This has been brought to our attention that your Conference of Masculine Excellence promotes abusive hate speech and misogynistic ideals. While we can appreciate blah, 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 we cannot condone the kinds of talking points we were made aware of on your YouTube channel and Instagram. Your deposit in the amount of $15,000 will be back in your account in 3 business days. We apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused for the event. Then Anthony comes on. Fraud alert. Donovan Sharpe, who canceled, quote, See Me Too in October of 2021 with no venue, no refunds, and almost 0 ticket sales. No, we absolutely refunded everybody's tickets. Is once again scrambling to cancel/alter his event due to his low ticket sales. This is a fake email from a non-existent venue that his fat wife wrote. Like he really. Oh, here's the letter. This is going to be the real. This is just so you guys know just how psychopathic this dude is. So this is after people started dropping off after he did the hit piece on me. The truth about Donovan Sharpe. They said, dude. They said, I'm out. And you guys heard EO talk about what Anthony's reaction was when he told him, respectfully, he was going to speak at the CME. He cursed out another man. What are we doing? Anyway, from this point forward, Anthony says, anyone in this group working with Donovan Sharpe in any capacity and for any reason will be instantly, totally, and permanently terminated. No public drama. Bullet between the eyes. Goodbye. This includes podcasts, interviews, copycat events. What you guys don't know is that Donovan has been attempting to poach speakers and even event staff behind my back. See, here's the thing. He doesn't have a right to those speakers. I didn't poach anybody. I approached everyone I had relations. Hey, man, you and I met at the 21 convention. I'm doing the CME. Would you like to speak? They said yes. Then they were, quote, fired by Anthony. Not that he was paying anybody anything. And event staff that I poached behind his back. Well, George Kellis reached out to me after I announced the CME. And the reason he reached out to me is that Anthony Johnson still owes him, I think, like $16,000 or $17,000, something like that. $16,000 or $17,000, right? So that's poaching my event staff. Yeah, really? When were you going to pay George, buddy? All the while playing nice guy in public, including Tony Bruno and one of the security staff, and that's just what I have confirmation of so far. See, guys, these are hostile, aggressive, overt actions that qualify as war, theft, and corporate sabotage. Guys, do you see how he is trying to justify his actions? See how he's trying to justify his actions? He had no reason to come after me other than the fact that it had posed a direct threat to the 21 convention. Donovan has forced my hand. Forced his hand to crucify him in public and bring a reckoning upon the entire community. This was effeminate, snake-like, parasitic conduct, unbecoming of any alumni speaker. In no uncertain terms, Donovan violated several major boundaries and declared war on my life's work, the most successful, quote, TED Talks for men the world has ever seen. That's where the truth was. He declared war. I didn't declare war. I just offered an alternative. I offered competition. He didn't like it, so he decided to say, okay, well, he did things that were wrong, so I'm going to go after him. So Zach Small, a.k.a. Hunter Drew, decided to pull out. He said, I slept on this and have come to my conclusion. I was invited to speak at Donovan's event, and I have accepted. I will still be speaking at his event, not because of anything to do with Donovan versus Anthony. I'm much closer to Anthony as a friend. I wish the 21 the absolute best. Every man here, blah, 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 blah. Again, everyone is being respectful. So then Phil Foster, gentleman, as a, with a heavy heart, etc., etc. Again, all of these, I wish nothing but the best for the speakers, staff, blah, 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 blah. Here's how Anthony responded. And this is just, this dude is a, yeah. Oh, he even continued, Socrates, I wish you both well. Socrates, Socrates has also separated himself. Socrates has also separated himself from Anthony. He doesn't have anything to do with him anymore. Here we go. So here's Anthony's response. Anthony says, Zach, this is going to be brutal. I offer zero apology for what you're about to read. Ooh. You shit the bed, piss the carpet, and I'm going to rub your face in it. It's going to smell, and it's going to hurt. The lack of moral backbone, and masculinity you just demonstrated in action is disturbing. I could snap your spine with my fingers. You have falsely accused me of a crime in the total absence of evidence, any reasoning whatsoever, and contrary to the facts of how I have unwaveringly treated you for 4 years. I'm assuming. Right? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. You and Phil are like naive children who don't understand how the world works. You're dangerous to have in a foxhole, as you've just demonstrated clearly. When push comes to shove, you cuck. You are a coward to the bone by your actions. You two are the reason Trad Cuck exists. You're Rolo's bitch now with Donovan as pimp and dungeon master. You're too chicken shit and dumb to grasp it. There's a time and place. Guys, again, this is supposed to be a leader of men, a guy who's supposed to be pro-masculinity doing this. Like, look at this. Look at this. And then I guess this is between him and Zach. Zach said, I asked you this morning for some time to talk and no reply. This is crazy. See? Do you see that? Zach wanted to call him up and talk about it. Anthony said, no, that's why we know Anthony's a coward. He's a coward. Let's see if we have anything. Oh, the letter. Oh, the letter. So I'm going to end it with this, guys. I'm going to end today's broadcast with this. And you guys want to listen and watch very, very carefully because this will lay pretty much everything out. Here we go. Is what's called third-party verification. Wait a minute. Why is that doing that? Hang on. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh, there we go. There we go. Verification. Out of the way here first. A couple of reasons I'm doing this video tonight is what's called third-party verification. If you don't know, on his channel's called the Truth About Donovan Sharpe. If you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to go check that out. Exactly 30 days later, his attorney sent me a demand letter. And so the Conference of Masculine Excellence went down from June 4th through June 6th. The documentary was published on March 20th. 30 days after that, I got this letter from Anthony Johnson's attorney. Now I've redacted all of Anthony's attorney's proprietary information. This is not about his lawyer. This is about Anthony. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing, pardon me. Oh, by the way, guys, the reason I haven't been on until now is that I got a touch of the stomach bug again. I felt like dog crap when I woke up, and it was, but I started feeling better around 3 o'clock this afternoon, and so I'm probably a few pounds lighter, for lack of a better term. But I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm good to go. So I don't want anybody to worry on that front. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this here. So the first thing I'd like to call your attention to is the email from Mr. Johnson's attorney. It's redacted, obviously, but if you look at the domain is at gmail.com. At gmail.com. Now, what does this mean? What does his Gmail domain have to really do with anything? Well, the vast majority of business owners, especially attorneys, they have their own domains, right? So if I were Donovan Sharpe Inc. or Donovan Sharpe Attorney at Law, it'd be donovan@donovansharpe.com, just like my email says. If you work at if you're at a baseball making factory called Rawlings, whatever at rawlings.com. It gives me some suspicions. That an attorney does not have his or her own domain. It just gives me some suspicions. Again, listen, man, I'm sure there are attorneys and business owners that use Gmail, but buying your own domain, and obviously to get a domain, you have to own that domain, the website, right? And of course I think it's like $5 a month or something. Dev knows all about that stuff. But the reason why we do that is for a touch of not only professionalism, but a little bit of legitimacy, right? Because anybody can create a Gmail account, right? I hate your guts at gmail.com, right? Well, buying your own domain name and having your domain as the suffix to your Gmails, again, it's a little suspicious. It's either unprofessional or it's, maybe something else is at play. I'll let you guys draw your own conclusions to that. So that's the first thing I would like to draw your. And I want you guys to know I don't make any accusations direct. At least I don't remember. What I'm doing here is I'm relying on your common sense here to reign. You can think whatever you want about this, about me, about him. But this, if you just use your common sense, you guys can see that this is absolutely bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Attention to. So let's go ahead and read it. Regarding your breach of non-disclosure agreement between you and Anthony Johnson / 21 Studios LLC, Redman Group LLC, and 21 Convention LLC companies, and your defamation of Anthony Johnson and the companies, and demand for retraction under Florida Statute 770.01 et. Whatever. Mr. Hopkins, that is my name. This office represents Mr. Anthony Johnson and the above referenced entities, the companies. You entered into a certain non-disclosure confidentiality agreement, the agreement, on or about June 19th of 2019 with Mr. Johnson and the companies. A copy is enclosed for your reference. I didn't get a copy. And neither did my attorneys. So I'm not sure what NDA he's talking about. But listen, just assuming that this is all above board. Mr. Johnson, the letter continues, has learned recently that you were hosting a convention event titled the Conference of Masculine Excellence in Las Vegas in June of 2021. Based on the promotional materials related thereto and the publicly available information released concerning the event, it is clear that your planning and creation of that event relies on confidential information learned by you, which is protected by the agreement from use or disclosure to others. Yeah, what about those virtual tickets, Anthony? Was that your idea? I didn't think so. Let me call your attention to something else. If you guys notice, we got some red writing in here, right? Uh-oh. Got some red font, right? What you guys are looking at is a redlined letter. Now, what's a redlined letter? Pay attention. Glad you asked. A redlined letter is a letter that, let's just say, for example, I wanted to send a legal letter to somebody. I type it up, I send it to my attorney looks it over, and he redlines the letter. In other words, the attorney goes through and he makes corrections, suggests corrections on the letter. He does that either by redlining it, as you guys can see here, or with certain software programs, they've got in the margins, it'll say, hey, look, check out line 32. You might want to use this word instead of that word. So basically, you're sending it back and forth, and you're redlining the letter. So this, what we're looking at here, which was sent to me and my attorneys, this is a draft. This was not the final, this is not the final draft. Now, I'm sure errors and accidents can happen, right? But something of this magnitude, I would think that if someone is, paying an attorney to redline. No, the CME3 is not canceled. Stop it. The CME3 is not canceled. Dumbass. And a letter and make corrections so that it's the most effective. My guess is that I'm actually going to be making an announcement about the CME3 after this video. Attorney probably has maybe a paralegal, maybe a legal assistant to make sure that the version you send to the attorneys is the final draft and not the red line. Neither of my attorneys nor I have ever, and I mean ever, received a redlined letter from anyone. Now, you guys know me. I've certainly had my run-ins with the law on the criminal side. Well, guys, I've been sued 3 times. And all 3 times I was sued. Not a red line letter, not a rough draft. It was the final draft. Again, I'm not saying, I'm just saying type of deal. Once again, this gives me some suspicions. And I'll just leave it at that. Right? So first, we've got the Gmail domain, right? Listen, hey, a lot of people use Gmail, right? But again, if you're a business owner, more importantly, an attorney, where your reputation is key, getting your own domain, probably a good idea. It is what it is, but I got sent a rough draft. Just, again, draw your own conclusions, draw your own conclusions, think what you want to think, etc., etc. Yeah, Devin in the chat says you can get your domain email at a Google Workspace for $5 a month per email, just one simple solution. Right. There you go. Okay. See, I knew Dev knew something. I knew Dev knew something about it. Appreciate that. The lovely and talented Devin, as usual. Mr. Johnson executed the agreement with you because you were a member of his inner circle. In fact, you were considered for an ownership interest in one of the companies. You can see more than is written and then redlined, both by former member of the Redman Group, George Miller, as well as Mr. Johnson himself. Mr. Johnson discussed details of his operations to you with regard to both his convention business and his online business. The areas in which Mr. Johnson and his company shared confidential information with you, which had economic value by virtue of not being generally known or discoverable, including without limitation the following. So, what is being alleged is that the information that Anthony told me about how to plan an event is something that nobody else knows but him. He's telling me, he is telling me and my attorneys that the information he personally gave to me in confidence is something proprietary to him, and that him and his companies are the only companies that know how to promote an event. Let me repeat that. Anthony is alleging that the information he shared with me about how to plan an event is something that only him and his companies had. Again, more red line here. So let's see what this list is. Event development and planning, event marketing strategies, event operations and logistics, proprietary concepts and cost reduction techniques. Yeah, he could have used that information himself. I don't remember any such conversations with Anthony. Analytic reports, revenue data, and let me also point out that this list here, you notice these aren't capitalized in the beginning, right? These aren't capitalized. Again, the fact that it's not capitalized, somebody said the font looks unprofessional, doesn't look like everything is aligned. And yes, Devin is absolutely correct. Legal documents use justified alignment. What justified alignments mean is that it's the same on both sides. It looks like a block, right? Listen, I'm sure there are legal documents that don't use justified alignments. It's been a while since I've seen one. Again, I'm not making any statements of fact. I'm just gives me some suspicions. You guys can draw your own conclusions. Revenue data, event know-how, customer relationships, staff, volunteer, and speaker relationships, ticket pricing strategies, internal performance results, event security operations, operation and production of the 21 Report Show, operation and production of the Redman Group Live podcast, operation and production of the attendee exclusive workshops, technical aspects of video and audio management. I don't remember having any of these conversations with Anthony. I don't remember having any of these conversations with Anthony. That's because I didn't. Technical aspects of the video and audio management, backup methods for audio and video production. I don't know, an external hard drive maybe? I don't think I would need, listen, I'm a smart enough guy to understand that I wouldn't need someone to tell me, now Donovan, this is how you back up your audio and video production. You use an external hard drive. Now don't tell anybody. You sign that NDA. Don't tell anybody because nobody else knows this except for me and my companies. Event affiliate management, commission structure, discount structure / incentives, speaker management and incentives, attendee and merchandise management, speaker liaison management. Again, gentlemen, I do not remember having any conversation like this with Anthony. Again, I'd like to point out more red line stuff here. The punctuation is off. We're not capitalizing letters. We're using left justified alignments instead of justified on both sides. Yeah, real professional, y'all. Here's the meat and potatoes of his demand. As such, demand is made for you to cease and desist from violations of the agreement, including, without limitation, using the above confidential information for your event, and to remove all promotional materials for said event and provide notice of its total cancellation. Let me read that one more time. As such, demand is made for you to cease and desist from violations of the agreement, including, without limitation, using the above confidential information for your event, and to remove all promotional materials for said event and provide notice of its total cancellation. wanted me to cancel the event. That's what he is demanding. So he releases the truth about Donovan Sharpe on March the 20th. He figured, yep, that'll scare him away. That'll scare him away. He'll totally didn't happen. Okay. Let me get my attorney to send him this letter to cease and desist all actions. Now, the timing of the quote-unquote documentary, as well as this letter, because again, remember, this is April 20th. This is round about a month and a half from the event. Right? Now, one could speculate that the timing is a little suspicious in terms of ulterior motives. I remember in Anthony's quote-unquote documentary, he said that he was exposing the truth about me because he believes that everyone should know the truth and that he was doing this for the manosphere and that the people deserved to know, and that was the reason he was doing it. He wants to make sure that people, work with integrity and all this other kind of stuff. It just gives me some suspicions that he didn't do this after the CME. He did this before the CME. You guys can draw your own conclusions as to why he would release this quote-unquote documentary and now this demand letter before the event. Again, I've told you guys the reason he was doing this. I told you guys. If you want to know, go back and watch my other videos on that. I told you the reasons why. So now he's telling me that he wants me to totally cancel the event. The next sentence, and again, total, is in red. It is deeply unmasculine of you not to honor your agreements and to seek to profit off the experience and knowledge of Mr. Johnson and his companies, which was shared with you in goodwill and confidence pursuant to the agreement. Let me read that again. It is deeply unmasculine of you not to honor your agreements. That sentence right there gives me some suspicions about who approved this letter. That really gives me, draw your own conclusions, think whatever you want. But it is deeply unmasculine of you not to honor your agreements. That doesn't sound like legalese. Hey, who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it is, right? I mean, who knows? I don't know. Maybe, maybe in Nexus Lexus, maybe there's some sort of case law where, using the language, it is deeply unmasculine of you. I don't know. It's been years since I've been to paralegal school. Hell, for all I know, the joke is on me. It just gives me some suspicions. Speaking of such matters, it is also wrong of you to lie about Mr. Johnson and his accurate statements regarding your lifestyle and your relationships. You have engaged in multiple acts of defamation against Mr. Johnson and his entities and acting with constitutionally required malice in doing so, as the true facts regarding your relationships and the other matters publicized by Mr. Johnson are well within your personal knowledge. It's funny. Actually, let me rephrase that. It would appear, and I'm not, no statements of facts, but it would appear that there's a lot of legalese going on here that doesn't really apply, right? Constitutionally required malice. Where's the case law on that? Where's the statute for that? Because constitutionally required malice, those laws are different in every single state in the union. Constitutionally required malice. That, to me, is trying to kill a fly with a sledgehammer. That's why it gives me suspicions as to who really wrote and approved this letter. As one example, you claimed in a video link below that the evidence presented by Mr. Johnson was created with, quote, Photoshop, and therefore false. More red sentence here. More widely, you have acted with reckless public regard for truth in these matters numerous times since the publication of Mr. Johnson's documentary film included, but not limited to, appearances on the Chris Von Erich channel, wherein you called the documentary a hit piece, the Fresh and Fit channel, your own business Instagram page, and your own YouTube channel networks. You have acted with similar brazen disregard for truth in private communications with several persons with whom Mr. Johnson has long-term business relationships and accused him of making false statements, which statements you in fact know to be true. Interesting. It looks like the attorney said, can you provide timestamps to some of these? Huh, that's interesting. So the attorney, I don't know, who knows? Maybe it was, I don't know. Can you provide timestamps to some of these? One would think that he already had the timestamps if he's going to put this entire red paragraph in this, correct? I don't know. Like I said, nothing I'm saying is a statement of fact. It just gives me some suspicions. You guys can draw your own conclusions. Because accusing Mr. Johnson of lying about, inventing, or exaggerating these factual claims constitutes defamation under Florida law, demand is made for the following. Interesting. He said it constitutes defamation under Florida law, but does not list the statute. If I'm an attorney and I am making a statement that something that I've done or said constitutes defamation under Florida law, one would think that they would put the statute, wouldn't they? What are you arresting me for? Get in the car. Like I said, listen. It just gives me some suspicions. Oh, here we go. We got the potatoes, now the meat. So these are his demands. Demand number, now we're capitalizing here. So we're capitalizing and numbering here. Okay, good. Number 1, immediately cease and desist all defamatory and false statements about Anthony Johnson in public and private. Number 2, publicly admit to all factual allegations from the documentary, including, but not limited to, the true name, age, and appearance of Cynthia Ashlock and your long-standing actions and intent to conceal these material facts. Age, name, and appearance? Age, okay. Name, okay. Appearance? Again, look. Say it with me, guys. I'm not making a statement of fact, okay? It just gives me some suspicions. The true nature of your relationship to this woman since July of 2019, including a wedding ceremony, a corresponding honeymoon in Hawaii and or the Florida Keys. So we either went to Hawaii and or the Florida Keys for our honeymoon. Seems a little obtuse to me, doesn't it? Like you have to be like, I mean, that's a hell of a stretch. Hawaii and or the Florida Keys. I mean, one could make the argument that you could put Hawaii and or the Florida Keys, but not limited to any other location between these points. The exchange of vows and rings before an audience, an officiator for the ceremony, and intent to be husband and wife as recognized by close friends and family members. Additionally, admit that Sean Brady is a fake alias created to glean additional information from Anthony Johnson about the issues of private, non-state sanctioned marriage. Oh boy. Fake alias. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes, trust and believe Sean Brady is absolutely real. He was 100% my best friend in college. Number 4, admit that you cited Candace Owens as a reason for dropping out of the 21-22 convention engagements in addition to Stefan Molyneux. Number 5, publicly admit the basic true nature of legal adoption issues that you and or Cynthia Ashlock have been concealing from your audience. You see, guys, what you have to understand is that both of our legal names have been put out there. If we were really trying to adopt someone, that would be public information. Bingo! That would be public information. You can go on to, you guys know we live in New Jersey, right? You guys know we live in New Jersey. Go to the NewJerseyCourthouse.com, look up our names, look up adoption, see for yourself. Oh, and while you're there, you can also check the marriage registry. Number 6, publicly apologize to all of your fans for lying to them specifically for multiple consecutive years. Number 7, publicly apologize to all of the fans of the 21 Convention, 21 Studios, the Red Man Group, and the Red Man Group for lying to them and falsely representing the true nature of your life and relationships. Publicly apologize to the entire Manosphere community for lying to them over a period of several years. Apologize individually and privately in writing to all business associates that were delivered defamatory comments about Anthony Johnson, including but not limited to Terrence Popp, business associates of Terrence Popp, Greg Adams, John Sonmez, Alan Roger Curry, Zach Small, Phil Foster, and George Bruno. Number 10, confirm receipt of these apologies by any means available to you. Number 11, additionally, specifically and briefly cite these individuals in your public apology for lying to them. Number 12, publicly admit that the video trailer, The Conference of Masculine Excellence, reuniting a once thriving men's community, was explicitly designed as a passive-aggressive attack video on Anthony Johnson's reputation as part of a broader disinformation campaign. Remove this video from the internet immediately. No. Number 12 is Hit Dog. Guys, this is Hit Dog. Reuniting a once thriving men's community. That was supposed to be explicitly an attack on Anthony Johnson? Anthony's not the only one out here acting a goddamn fool. The nerve of this guy. Number 13, reveal privately in writing to this law office and all individuals involved in the creation of this video, specifically between the dates of March 20th and March 31st of 2021. Number 14, deliver all public apologies listed here in one video, either throughout a written and prepared statement, read on camera with no logos, branding visible of any kind, or through similar preparation means to make such a statement. We're still not done, guys. We're not done. Number 15, publish this video to all of your business available platforms, including but not limited to your primary YouTube channel, Instagram accounts, Patreon accounts, and Facebook accounts. Number 16, grant Anthony Johnson 21 Studios, the 21 Convention, and the Red Man Group an indefinite license to publish and host this video, and in red, or otherwise make this video available under a permanent Creative Commons license for the public to replenish without limitation. Jesus. Number 17, make written, authentic requests to publish this video apology and admission to the Fresh and Fit podcast, to which several of your defamatory statements have been made. Carbon copy this law office with such request. Number 18, apologize for any and all defamatory and disparaging statements made against Anthony Johnson on February 17th of 2021 on the Bulldog Mindset YouTube channel. Number 19, deliver $10,000 deliver $10,000 US net to Anthony Johnson via wire transfer or cashier's check for damages done against his personal reputation, as well as his reputational damages done against 21 Studios, the 21 Convention, and the Redman Group brands and companies that he owns and operates. This payment represents a fraction of actual damages done both for the violation of the agreement and the defamatory statements made by you regarding Anthony Johnson and the companies. 10 grand, huh? And finally, number 20, cease and desist all hostile actions on the YouTube platform against the 21 Studios and Redman Group channels, including but not limited to, this is interesting. Cease and desist all hostile actions on the YouTube platform against 21 Studios and the Redman Group channels. Like, isn't this projection? Like, from what I understand, all of the hostile actions that were performed on YouTube was against me from him. I didn't put out any documentaries or hit pieces on Anthony, including but not limited to the abuse of privacy complaints. You are both public figures, and dubious copyright claims as censorship mechanisms. If each and all of these demands are not complied with within 10 days of your receipt of this letter, suit will be filed in Orange County Circuit Court for defamation and the violation of the agreement. My client reserves his right to seek injunctive relief and damages in addition to attorney's fees and court costs as provided for in the agreement. If you intend to retract any of the above statements, please contact this office to discuss the timing of said retractions. Please contact me if you have any questions regarding the above. Very truly yours. I redacted the name. Yeah, I actually tried to call the law office. Surprise, surprise. No answer. There's my name. Suit was never filed. Surprise, surprise. Suit was never filed, guys. So there you have it. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Anthony Johnson said in his documentary film that the reason he was putting this information out about me was to make sure that people knew who I really was. Make sure that they knew I was a fraud and that I could not be trusted. Any reasonable person would probably conclude otherwise. And again, the timing is very interesting. March 20th, he comes out with the documentary, I Don't Budge. April 20th, his attorney sends this letter to my attorneys. My guess is that he was hoping I would actually comply with this, but here's the thing, man. Anthony doesn't understand that I am not a stranger to litigation. That's not something I'm proud of, but it's not something I'm ashamed of either. I have seen the inside of many courthouses, many jails, many detained rooms, all that. You guys all know I've been arrested a bunch of times, multiple time convicted felon. Been sued a bunch of times. I make no bones about my legal past. I make no bones about my legal past. So you guys can draw your own conclusions as to what you might think Anthony Johnson's motives were in terms of the documentary as well as this letter. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking at this point, rightfully so, a lot of you guys say, hey, you know what, Donovan? Don't pay any attention to these haters. Don't give them any oxygen, blah, 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 blah. I hear you. And you're 100% right. Except for this one fact. And I need you guys to really hear me out. There is a big difference between a nobody making a hit piece about me and somebody who actually has worked with me. Right? if Joe YouTuber puts out a video, Donovan Sharpe exposed, he has 3 kids by 3 different... I'm not paying any attention to that because that dude doesn't know me from Adam. But when guys like Anthony Johnson and O'Shea Duke Jackson make statements about me, that carries a little more weight. Why? Because I had personal relationships with them. I knew these people personally. I worked with them for an extended period of time. Anthony and O'Shea were keenly aware of that fact when they put out all of these videos. O'Shea lied about the fact that I tried to plan a Black 21 convention behind his back. He lied about that. That was a lie. He was dishonest with you. But he said that first. And because people know that O'Shea knew me personally, they assumed that what he was telling was the truth. That's why I had to come out with that response video and show the receipts. That's why I did it. O'Shea said in one of his videos, yeah, I don't trust Donovan. He revealed personal text conversations, immature stuff like that. O'Shea, did you tell them why I revealed those text conversations? Did you tell them why? Yeah, it was because you made false statements about me and I proved them wrong. Then, of course, O'Shea wants to go and tell everybody, Donovan sold me for it. Look, I sold him 4 articles that I sold to Rouge. I tried to cut corners. He called me on it. I made him whole again. It is what it is. It is what it is. But O'Shea knows me personally. And so when he puts something out about me, people automatically believe him because they assume that what he's telling the truth because I worked with him for so long. It's the same thing as Anthony. Anthony Johnson and O'Shea Duke Jackson are not your average everyday trolls. These are men who worked with me. These are men that I worked with. I never did anything to Anthony Johnson. Never. I never said anything. Dude, I hosted the Red Man group very, very well for almost a year. Me and Devin spent 45 minutes on the phone talking to him about all the chargebacks and helping him with his chargebacks when he detonated the 21 convention going after Rolo, right? I didn't do anything to cause any of this except for having the audacity to plan an event. And need I remind you, and I'll be talking about this in a video on down the line. When everything is adjudicated, trust me, everything is going to be out there. But Anthony told me, and I have the text messages to prove it, hey, if you're looking to do an event, I'm more than happy to show you the ropes. This is what he told me. Well, guess what? I planned an event, and he did this. My guess is that Anthony didn't think that I was actually going to do it. He probably didn't think I had the money to do it. Just like he probably still doesn't think that I have the money to seek the legal remedies available to me as far as his actions are concerned. And I want to make this very clear. I want to make this very clear to Anthony and any one of his followers or fans who may be watching. I will 495% see this all the way through till the end. I will absolutely see this through till the end. I will seek out every legal remedy available to me. I have already retained 2 attorneys, bought and paid for. I have the money and the time to see this through. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. One of my guys sent a comment on one of Anthony's videos. Yeah, I don't pay attention to Donovan's idle threats. Okay, all right. Listen. 21 Studios, 21 Convention fans, hey, please don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it at all. Please make the egregious mistake of thinking that I'm bullshitting. Because in the immortal words of Marcellus Wallace, I'm not through with you by a sight. Now, there's not going to be, a blowtorch or whatever he said in Pulp Fiction. But legally, this is not over. I will absolutely, positively make sure I see this all the way through to the end. I have more than enough money to see this through to the end and further than that. Actions have consequences. Let me rephrase that. Actions have legal consequences. I'll just leave it at that. Minister Jap, $10 super chat, says CME for life. Appreciate that. Oh, yo, yeah, let me get a wrench. Damn, my bad, dude. I thought Jep was already a, Oh, all right, Devin already got you. Okay, cool. Andrew Yu, $2 says formatting looks off as well. Maybe. Eric Smith, $2 California says the font of the email looks unprofessional. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Chase LeBeau back in the house. Jay Parra, $5 says this is vile and disrespectful. Feminine energy. Oh, yes. Jay Parra says, $5 says, tell him to kick rocks, slip, and fall. Andrew Yu, $2, says, if it is real, it's just a threat letter, a bad one. King Life, $5, said he got this idea from Chipmunk Trick in Brazil. This only reveals the guy as a black pill sociopath. Oh, and one last thing. The 21 convention was an abject fucking disaster. It was an abject disaster. If you want to see how many people actually showed up, visit my Instagram and Facebook page. Visit my Instagram and Facebook page if you want to get a first. Yeah. It was a fucking disaster. It was a disaster. Am I surprised? No, of course not. Of course not. You can't, like, you can't behave the way he's behaved and expect people to actually pay to come to that. You know, it's interesting. One of my attorneys, and this was Jesus Christ. This was back before I even got this letter. I was in Arizona, right? I was in Arizona. I was out there having fun, riding my bike, lifting weights. And one of my attorneys was like, we're just going through, you know, the whole situation. He's like, you know, Mr. Hopkins, he says, you really, like, you could save yourself a lot of money and just let this guy self-destruct. How about that? Look at that. This is what he told me. He says, look, I mean, all of these memes and he thinks he's funny like this is going to sink his business. You don't really need to be doing this. And now look what's happened. And I said, I know. I know. But I will. I'm going to make an example out of this kid. I'm going to make an example out of him. Actions have legal consequences. Listen, all he has done is all protected under the First Amendment. But there are also legal remedies in the event. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get too far into the weeds and maybe start revealing strategies, but yeah. Dr. Thunder, $5 says, see me was a great conference. You're the man. Stay up. Let's go. Appreciate that. I'll tell you what. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, and I know I'm probably a little bit late to the party on this, but tomorrow I'm going to tell you guys what my opinion is. Oh, I guess that's it. All right, so that was that. Hang on a second. So yeah, that was that, y'all. That was that. That was the. That was. I didn't want to have to spend. I didn't want to have to spend another. You know. Oops. I didn't want to have to spend another. You know. How long explaining this stuff? Because most people don't care. They really don't. It is what it is. But those who are close to me, absolutely care. But I guess I'll sign off with this, guys. Man. A lot of people will chalk this up to karma, right? They'll say, Anthony got what's coming to him. Anthony got what was coming to him. He put out all this bad juju. Guys, that's not what happened. Karma didn't get the best of Anthony Johnson. What happened with Anthony Johnson is the simple concept of cause and effect. Karma's not the reason why if I throw my phone up, it comes down. No, that's not the reason. The world, the universe, the galaxy doesn't have some cosmic way of righting all wrongs. No, there is no such thing as karma. There never was, there never will be. Karma is something people tell themselves to make themselves feel better about a wrong that has been done to them. Right? Like, as a guy, your girlfriend cheats on you. Well, karma's going to get the best of her. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, the reason why she's going to end up alone and childless is because she's a hoe. Ain't got nothing to do with what she did to you. Right? Because I'll tell you what, if karma really did exist, then all of these hoes would be, dude, all these hoes they'd be cat ladies at 27 years old. But instead, they're cat ladies at 72. That's not karma. That is cause and effect. Those are the consequences of your decision. Your decisions. Right? For every sequence, there is a consequence. Now, a consequence doesn't necessarily have to be bad, even though the prefix con connotes something bad. But consequences can be bad. Consequences can be good too. Right? And it's just like I said on Sascast the other night. Hey, look. I tell my girl, look. Your actions have consequences. Whether those consequences are going to be good or bad, it's completely up to you. It's completely up to you. But in the end, guys, this is what happens. This is what happens when you act like this. You know, just like EO said, man, the guy had a thriving business. He had a thriving business. He had the market cornered. He really did. He really did. And and you guys know me, I'm not the kind of guy who's just going to go and follow. No. I want to be a leader. I want to be in charge. I said, you know what? I think I can bring a different flavor to this kind of thing. I was open with Anthony. I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking about putting on my own event. He was like, hey, great idea. You have me at your disposal, blah, 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 blah. That was all cap. He told me he would help me, and instead he, well, helped himself. I also agree with EO when he talks about the fact that it's sad. It's tragic. This is sad because this was really, this had the chance to be a very, very, like, multiple decades long standing type of event. That was it. And for reasons known only to him, he just decided to detonate it. I also think that it's very sad to see. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I thought we'd gotten kicked off. I was going to talk about something else that was sad to see, but I'll probably remember it later. But best case scenario, man, like we could have worked together. We could have worked together, man. We had the same friends, we knew the same people, but he just decided that he was going to be the only game in town. And like any breakup, she's going to win first. Everyone laughed and chuckled. Oh, Donovan's a step uncle. Devin's a fatty. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody pretended to believe it, the Miss Piggy memes and blah, 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 blah. Right? Well, all that has turned out to be categorically false. Right? Yeah, I lied about her age. That was wrong. It is what it is. None of us are perfect. If me lying about my woman's age for the first couple of years turns you off, hey, I got no problem with that. That's fine. You can support or unsupport for whatever reason you choose. I'm not mad at that. So that's your decision. Other than that, I didn't do anything wrong to the kid. I didn't do anything to him. We could have really, done something. We could have really done something. And now it appears that the 21 convention is all but done. Now, some people will say, well, the reason why Anthony is canceling the 21 convention is because he just had a child. Well, just like EO said, if he was leading the relationship, that kid wouldn't be in the way. It's not like he travels to do the 21 convention. No, 21 convention's right there in his backyard. Leave the kid at home with mom, come do the 21. No. The reason why the 21 convention has been canceled is because Anthony Johnson no longer has the money to fund it. That's why. And here's another little story for you. One of the more recent 21 conventions that he had in Poland, he didn't have the money for it. He had all but $5,000 for the 21 convention. I remember George Bruno actually told me the story. He said, Anthony called me up the night before. He's like, hey, man, like, the 21 convention might not go off. And George is like, what? Like, we've all flown all the way out here. How the hell is the 21 convention not going to... How is it not... I don't have the money. I don't have the $5,000. He ended up borrowing $5,000 from Steve the Dean Williams. Put it on his wife's American Express card. Saved the 21 convention Poland. Now, Donovan, how do you know this? Well, when it came time to pay Steve the Dean Williams back, Anthony was nowhere to be found. Steve was calling me up. He's like, yo, I let this dude borrow $5,000. Where is he? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, Steve, that's between you and him, man. I don't know what to tell you, bruh. I don't know what to tell you. Now, eventually, Anthony did pay him back. At least that's what I'm told. But the point is, he didn't have the money for the 21 convention in Poland. He did not have all of the money. He had to borrow it from his chauffeur. He had to borrow from his chauffeur. Right? Everybody out here wants to talk. And dude, this is why you can't, dude. And I'm guilty of this too. But Anthony was out here talking, oh, we made this amount of money and we're going to build this and build that. And guys, I've always been open and honest about my CME experience as far as my costs. Guys, the CME is not a profitable venture. It's not a profitable venture, guys. Hindsight being 2020, I probably shouldn't have done it. I probably shouldn't have done the CME. I probably should not have done it. The CME has cost me, oh my God. It has cost me almost as much as it would have been worth to cancel it. Right? Almost as much. But I'm glad. I wouldn't have done it if I had it to do again, but I don't have it to do again. And I'm glad I did it, and I'm going to continue to do it. But just so you guys understand, this is not a money-making venture, guys. This ain't some $20,000 boot camp. Dude. And this is interesting. This is very interesting. Anthony really, dude, he tried to get tickets by any means possible. Dude, he promised him a 5-day, dude, look at this. Look. 1 ticket, 2 events. Your hotel, hold on, let me pull this over here. Look at this, man. Like, dude, he was in over his skis. He was in over his skis. Look at this. Look at this. This is what he included in the Super VIP ticket. 1 ticket, 2 events. Then you get a 5-day stay at the hotel. Say what? Yeah, that cost a lot of money, guys. The very first CME was at the Venetian. Nobody paid for a room. Donovan Sharpe. Donovan Sharpe. And yes, I'm speaking in the third person. I covered everyone's room. Nobody had to come out of their pocket for the room. I flew all of the speakers out on me, round trip, up front. There was no reimbursement. Nope. Here's your ticket. Here's your plane ticket. Here's when you and your lady fly out. And guys, these weren't just rink-a-dink rooms, y'all. These were suites. And I'm not talking about a suite like no. These were suites, as in multi-level Las Vegas penthouse-style suites with a separate poop room. That shit was not cheap. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, I'm getting tremors just thinking about it. I'm getting tremors just thinking about that motherfucker. But again, that just goes to show, in Anthony's defense, yeah, this shit's not cheap. This shit's expensive. My man had to borrow $5,000 to get the Poland 21 convention off. Did anyone think that after his shenanigans the past 2 to 3 years, anyone was going to pay for this? Even though he basically promised the moon? No. Of course he had to cancel it. Wasn't nobody buying tickets. Look, I told you guys. All my haters, look, it's another money. Really? You think this is a money grab? Go ask Anthony Johnson. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this, too. I will say this. I can guarantee you, and he would admit this, right now, Anthony Johnson is actually relieved. He's relieved. The albatross is off of his back. He tore off the Band-Aid. He finally admitted that's it. At least for this year, there's no 21 convention. He's probably... Why? Because the shit ain't cheap. It's not cheap, y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all. This shit's expensive. It ain't easy putting this stuff on. Which causes me to pat myself on the back even more because Devin and I, by ourselves, have now pulled off 2. And we're now about to pull off the 3rd. So, in the end, man, I'm not surprised this happened. And I told y'all. I said, the end is coming. This is not sustainable. He's not going to be able to do this forever. I told y'all this was coming. I've told you guys this was coming. I told y'all this was coming for months. I said, dude, he keeps digging himself a bigger hole. Like, what are you doing? There's no way he can sustain this. No way. And the reason I knew this is because I know what it takes to do these, man. You guys think I'm talking out of my ass here? No, this was not wishful thinking. This was... It's so funny now. To be honest with you, I actually kind of envy Anthony right now. I'm not... Look, like, dead ass, man. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Like, on some level, I'm actually kind of envious of Anthony right now. I'm envious of that motherfucker. That dude doesn't have to put together a fucking event this year. God damn. Wouldn't that be nice right about now? Guys, I'm just being honest. I'm being honest, man. I'm being honest. 2 things that I do not want to admit. Number 1, Anthony feels a shit ton of relief. And number 2, I actually kind of envy him right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, you don't think that if there was another pandemic and the CME would be... Listen, I'd be bummed. Don't get me wrong. I'd be bummed. Because I love doing the CMEs, guys. And this is why, despite all of the stress and all of the money that I lose, and just, but dude, there's nothing like shaking somebody's hand, looking them in the eye. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I do it. I don't do this for the money. Oh my God. God knows I don't do this for the money. I do this for the love. And you can ask Anthony Johnson himself. You can ask him yourself. Yo, what's it really take to put one of these motherfuckers on? He'll tell you, sit down there, young buck. Let me school you. No, it ain't easy and it ain't cheap. I'll bet you Anthony probably fretted over this for weeks. For weeks. Then the kid came. He was like, you know what? I'm done playing the charade. I'm done. I got a kid to take care of, dude. And by the way, he's got an adorable fucking kid. Like, she's a cutie. She's adorable. As much as I hate to admit it, Anthony's got an adorable fucking kid. She is a little cutie. Wish her the best. She is a little cutie. Like, she's a cute kid. Right. But he probably agonized for weeks. He's thinking, how can I sell more tickets? Let's do a fake discount. Let's add a 5-day hotel stay. Then his baby mama shed out his offspring. Everything changed. He's like, you know what? Nah. Nope. Can't do it. And guys, that's the right choice. That's the right fucking choice. Man, that's the right goddamn choice. When he clicked up, guys, look, I don't know because I wasn't there. But I'm telling you, I know what it takes to do these. And when he hit the send button to confirm the cancellation, he's probably lighter than fucking air right now. Because as rewarding as it is to do these conventions, guys, it's hard and it's expensive. I think I've belabored the point, but I think you guys know that. So, look, congratulations to Anthony for the kid. You know, like I said, she's a cutie. She's an adorable kid. He's got bigger fish to fry, and hopefully he spends the requisite time. He spends the requisite time to raise oh God. I wish him the best with the kid. That's all I can say. The kid's innocent. She didn't ask to be born, but hey, man, you know, it's a new life. You know, it's a new baby. Hey, there's nothing bad about that. You know, I mean, babies. You know, babies are a blessing. So I'm not gonna hate on that. I was actually gonna come on here and trash the kid, and I can't do that. It's just not. That's not in me. That kid is too goddamn cute to trash, and the kid is innocent. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna hold the sins of the father against the daughter, but I'm sure someone will later on down the road. I'll tell you that much right now. Boy, that's gonna be an interesting household, to say the least. Big Mo with the $10 soup. Come on now. Fucked up my momentum. $10 super chat. Says, I never focused on your personal life. The only thing I wanted to know is if your teaching / content were true or not. Your work is constantly confirmed 24/7. Therefore, I'm continuing to learn from you. Appreciate that, Mo. Appreciate that very, 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 very much, Mo. Appreciate that very, very much. Big Mo also says, Donovan with the victory lap is kind of wild. Look, I don't know that this is a victory lap. On one end, yeah, this is absolutely a victory lap. This proves that actions have consequences. Anthony spent the last 2.5, 3 years destroying his business without really knowing he was destroying it. Now he's paying the price. 21 convention's done. It's done. It's over. Nobody's speaking at it. Nobody's going to it. Nobody's paying those ridiculous prices. But on the other side, the human side of me says, you know, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, man. Sucks. We could have done great things together, but you decided to act a fucking fool, and now, well, I'm the last man standing. I'm thinking maybe he hopes that if he goes away for long enough, maybe people will forget about the way he's conducted himself. Who knows? But, so the announcement that I have about the CME, so we were almost sold out of all of our tickets. We have one more VIP ticket. We have 4 more tickets left. 1 more VIP, 3 more regular tickets. Guys, I'm going to expand the ticket sales. I'm going to expand the ticket sales by 50. No more VIP tickets. No more VIP tickets. But I'm going to expand it by another 50 regular tickets. So they're going to be now a maximum of 150 tickets sold. After that, no more. No more. And every single ticket from here on out is 2 for 1. You buy 1 ticket, that's good for 2 people. 1 ticket is as good for 2 people. 1 ticket is good for 2 people. The VIP part of the VIP package was you got to bring a +1, right? Well, if you bought a regular ticket, you normally would have had to pay $300 for a +1. Now you don't have to pay for a +1. You buy 1 ticket, you can bring a friend free. And that is until they are all gone. So 53 regular tickets, 1 VIP ticket left. Every single ticket is buy 1, bring a friend. It is going to be off the charts. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Devin and I were going to have a small, cute, intimate little wedding ceremony. We're going to live stream. Guys, it's not going to be big, extravagant, and fancy. This is not going to be that way. We're going to have a cake, maybe a few decorations, but it's not going to be like the royal wedding. It's going to be a little ceremony, the very first red pill wedding in the Manosphere, I guess. I guess I'll sell it that way. So that's the announcement. 50 more in light of the 21 convention being canceled. I am now going to expand my tickets. I'm going to expand my tickets by 50. If you purchased a 21 convention ticket and you haven't gotten a refund, get a hold of me. Get a hold of me. If you were done wrong by Anthony Johnson in some way, shape, or form, if you purchased a ticket and he is not giving you a refund after this cancellation, get a hold of me and I'll see what I can work out. I'm not looking to take advantage of anybody. I'm not looking to no. If you paid for the 21 convention, and you don't get a refund or some sort of guarantee, I don't know what's going on. If you paid for the 21 convention and you don't get a refund, give me a call. Give me a call. We'll try to work something out. I've got to make sure security-wise everything is on the up and up. But if you have good intentions, if you're not trying to disrupt or hurt anybody, if Anthony doesn't give you a refund, I'll take care of you. I'm not saying that I will give you a refund. I'm not going to give you. No, if you were dumb enough to pay $2,500 for that, that's on you. That's on you, right? I can't make you whole again, but I can make sure that you at least get something for your money. I'm more than happy to bring you over, welcome you with open arms, welcome you to the family. We're not going to pass judgment. You don't even really have to say, right? So if you paid to go to the 21 convention or even a virtual ticket, if you paid to go to the 21 convention and you're filing chargebacks and Anthony's not giving you his money back, get a hold of me, man. I can't make you whole again, but I can at least make sure you get something for your money. Something for your money. So that's my I guess I'll have to flesh out the details. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do a 21 convention discount. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. At any rate, guys, thank you all very, very much for tuning in and listening to me for the last 2.5 hours. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this wasn't vindication to some degree. I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna take the high road. No, no, man. No, there is no high road. There's only one road. Like I've said before, I said this 1.5 years ago. Actions have consequences. He can't sustain this. Guys, I've been telling you this for 1.5 years. I told you guys, this isn't happening. I told you guys, it's over. He's the only one pretending not to know it. And now here we are, less than 3 months before our events, and he's pulled out. Now tell me who the fraud is. Tell me who the fraud is. Have a good night.